Hello there, Site 42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation. Sorry, there's a hair on the camera. And welcome to another coffee break with Dr. Sherman, a not very long one, I suspect. The subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. Now, as always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, and right out of the gate, here is Puppy of Interest 42, codenamed Charlie, who immediately came over to say hi as soon as any humming happened. And baby girl, here is your requisite treat from the chat. That's a good baby. That's a good baby. Now, before I even begin the outro, you're going to feel a little bit of a lower energy from me today. I actually feel overall fine, except I have a throat tickle, which is making talking difficult. I have full energy. I feel great, except for my throat is scratchy, which is very upsetting when your job is to talk. So, I do believe this will be a shorter stream, 1 hour to 90 minutes at the maximum. Just so I can give this a rest. As you can tell, my humming was even weakened. But with proper application of water, we'll at least make it through today's coffee break. Now, as always, I'm Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director here at Site 42 of the SCP Foundation. And as I have done for the last year and counting, because the daily stream streak still remains strong, I'm here to open my office doors to you, the SCP Foundation staff, to answer your burning questions about this dark and mysterious place of employment we call the SCP Foundation. So whether you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who try to stop us from containing them, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview, perhaps they're from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e., fandom. Either way, we are here for the next 60 minutes, hopefully, for today's stream. But before I begin the general Q&A, allow me to start with some housekeeping. Puppet Boy, congratulations on being the #1 most punctual member of today's Containment Hazard Assessment team, i.e., congratulations on being first chatter. Alongside you, Freud, Attracted to 682, Blue Phantom, Legendary Doge, Just Pit, Amber, Affleck, 369 Destroyer, Rune. I believe I said Freud. Selma Beatriz, Kian Gray. Everyone who I have just named, thank you for being here punctually. And thank you for being here as members of Site 42 on YouTube. We appreciate your membership and your service. Furthermore, interns Steven Universe, Hunter Mark, Kevin Suit, Bored as Hell, Minty Andrea, Leanderts, Minecraft Geek, Death at CapCut, Jack, Fishies, Echoes of the Past. Everyone who I have just named, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being here as members of, thank you for being here today, just for being you. Now, despite the tickle in my throat, today's stream is still sponsored by our friends at SCP Containment Breach the Movie. If you want an SCP movie in theaters, this Kickstarter is how we get there. This is the first team that has made a live-action 10-minute short. They've gone to film festivals. Yes, Puppy of Interest 42. It is very exciting that there could be an SCP movie. You're excited too? That's a very good thing. Yes, the baby is very excited for the Kickstarter for the SCP movie. Very good baby. Sweetiest pumpkin at Site 42. Silliest baby, too. Quite the silliest baby. Flee, baby girl. I will not kill us all with a light. It is fine. Charlemagne? She's fine. She's fine. Don't worry. Flee! As in run. Don't have fleas. That would be bad. As I was saying, SCP Contain Rich the movie is currently kickstarting. If this project makes it to theaters, then it will open the floodgates of more people believing that the SCP community can successfully fund movies outside the Hollywood system, which means we will get a deluge of adaptations of different SCP stories. I want this to happen. So do the best you can to both fund and share this Kickstarter so that we can have an SCP movie, especially because they have said that I get to be in the movie if it happens. I would like to be in the movie. So let's do this, people. You have your orders. Now, for today's stream subject, we are going to continue to celebrate Pride Month by going over the SCP Pride Fest 2026 feature of the day, as well as continuing our tour through the This Is My Jam Con contest entries. So a quick summary for Pride Month, followed by another JamCon article, after which we will have general Q&A for however long I can continue to talk afterwards. So, let's start with Pride Fest. Pride Fest's feature of yesterday was called Come Find Us, We'll Be Waiting. Now, as I told you yesterday, this was a continuance of the story of SCP-7999, in which the Caridid race sent us a message to say, hey, well, the title of the story, Come Find Us, We'll Be Waiting. Did you see? Did you read? Did you enjoy? I, of course, as a fan of SCP-7999, was shocked to see that there was a sequel tale that I did not notice. And, in reading it, I did enjoy it. The feeling of loss in Foundation researcher Basil, as well as the good work of trying to reunite with a fascinating alien race. That's good stuff. Very Project Hail Mary coded. Much appreciated. What did you guys think of said article? Meanwhile, today's feature is called There Is No Secret Garden. Now, There Is No Secret Garden takes place in the canon of Lampeter. And this story is about one of them is a goat person. So one of them is anomalous in one way or another. The other person is LGBTQIA in some way, but I do not know. Okay, we have a... this is Teenage Gaia, and another character called Hannah Thompson. So, that answers that question for me. This is some high quality SCP Foundation Yuri for Pride Month. And so, if that kind of thing sounds good to you, head over to the tale, There Is No Secret Garden, on the SCP database. It's about these two lover kids 20 to 21, running away and doing their level best to have a good life despite dire circumstances. Not even dire, mundane, broke ass, can't find a good place to live circumstances. And you know what? At the end of the day, the moral of the story is the moral that I put in the stream subject. No, it's not doomed Yuri, Just Pit. In fact, it's the opposite of doom Yuri. It's actually hopeful Yuri. Because they move from place to place until they find a place to settle, make it their home, and improve it until it is a livable situation. Which is a great reminder that A, nothing will be perfect in the world, but if you try, you can make it good enough. And that's the moral of a lot of things in life. For instance, the SCP Foundation. We can't stem the tide of every anomaly that exists. We can't contain everything. But if we try, we can maintain normalcy. That's a good motto. I'm sure there's other things you could like in this message too, but that's obviously the important one for SCP Foundation staff members. So the tale, There Is No Secret Garden, is your pride feature of the day. Please enjoy your hopeful Yuri. DJ is telling me that Hannah Thompson is what? A rewrite of a remix of Iris. So SCP-6317 is a remix of Iris Thompson, SCP-105, before growing into their own character. So this is a canon of 166 and 6317 running away together. It does mention the teenage Gaia's father, if Desk has certain feelings about that. So, that is our Pride Fest focus for the day. Moving on. Title again, I'm gonna see if they did it correctly. Lol. It's called There Is No Secret Garden. That is the name of the tale. Now, our second stream subject of the day is our This Is My JamCon reading. And so I'm going to move on to that. Now, today's This Is My JamCon article, coming in at 17th place in This Is My JamCon, which, in case you're unfamiliar, This Is My JamCon was a unofficial contest on the SCP database, where SCP authors traded song recommendations and then wrote songs based on those, or wrote articles based on those songs. And so, a side quest of This Is My JamCon is I've been trying to guess what song the articles have been based on. And except for 1.5 of the 16 entries we've read so far, they've almost universally been songs I've never heard of. I got one song correct on guess because I knew that song and its title was the title of the SCP as well, which I'm still counting because that's the best I've had so far. And another song was one I have heard, but I did not know its title, and it doesn't have words. So I did not know that song, except that I did know that song. So I am 1 for 1.5 right now. The next article is Curse the Foundation by Battle Spikes, SCP-9141. So, we are going to read SCP-9141, which is not too long, and then we will have general Q&A for the remaining time that I have a voice. So, let's see what we've got. Item number SCP-9141. Object class, See Below. Interesting. Level 2 Unrestricted Classification. Special Containment Procedures. All Foundation personnel reporting frequent or serious anomalous activity must be given an investigation for possible classification. Subjects assumed to be affected by a curse should be scanned with an Akiva counter to detect any abnormal Centric Akiva levels. This information will help in confirming its existence and gaining information. If Centric Akiva levels are not affected, the investigation must be flagged for further review. All confirmed curses must have their investigation taken over by the Department of Tactical Theology, if it already isn't, to dispel the curse. In some specific cases, will the investigation and research be collaborated with or taken over by another department? Each curse under the 9141 number will have their own special containment procedures to minimize any damage or effects while the curse is active. If a curse persists for an extended period of time, reclassification and an allocated object number can be considered. All curses confirmed to have been dispelled will have their classification rescinded, removed from 9141's main article, and archived for future reference, organization, and possible reappearances. Footnote: if you wish to view an archived curse, contact Ryza for access to a digital or physical copy. So, that is our special containment procedures. Let's see what we've got. Description: SCP-9141 is an umbrella term referring to all minor curses placed onto the Foundation. There are currently 37 active curses and 8,957 in the history of SCP-9141's written record. Footnote: in consideration of your security level, not every curse will be listed. You know, considering the age of the Foundation, just around 9,000 curses actually is not that much. If we've been around for, in some canons, 150 years, that's less than 100 curses a year. That's pretty impressive, actually. All 9141 instances must fit one of the following criteria to qualify for the 9141 classification. The curse only affects one person and/or certain area. The curse is temporary and lasts a very short time. The curse has been dealt with before and can easily be dealt with again. The curse does not pose long-term harm, but is an annoyance. The curse follows simple procedures and is very easy to contain, minimize, and/or maintain. Curses listed will also be given a special classification according to the following list. Green: no risk or annoyance, little effect, specific conditions, unremarkable. Yellow: little risk annoyance, mild effect, broader conditions, unremarkable. Orange: moderate risk annoyance, common conditions, remarkable. Red: high risk. You saw nothing. High risk: interruption to work, little to no conditions, priority. Blue: one-time appearance and/or too little information is known. White: neutralized, but of importance. In many cases, there will be deviations and exceptions to the criteria and classifications above. Accessing database, please hold. All right, now we are going to be introduced to a litany of curses that were passed upon certain SCP Foundation staff members, and we will see their effects and what happened with them. Very simple. SCP-9141-9, codename Here Be Great Danes. Class: White. Footnote: was awaiting an object number before being neutralized. Pictured are Dr. Redacted and Site Director Hay healing a manifested Great Dane's leg. Special containment procedures. Procedures discontinued as of 5th of October, 1946, following the curse's neutralization. Any manifested Great Danes have been transferred to a rescue shelter or adopted by Site 170 personnel and administered a tracking chip. All documentation except for the older containment procedures will not be archived. This information has been kept as an important reference for adding to the SCP-9141 number. Description: 9141-9 refers to the unexplainable monthly manifestations of adult male Great Danes within Site 170 since June 10th, 1945. 3 to 6 Great Danes manifest monthly. All Great Danes possess no anomalous properties. Any prior history of the manifested canine, such as their original owners, place of origin, how manifestations and why manifestations occur, are unknown. No manifestation has been viewed in person, and all manifested Great Danes have expired 5 to 7 years after their first known appearance from natural causes. June 10, 1945, 3 adult male Great Danes were found throughout separate sections of Site 170. Investigations into how or why they were in the facility is unknown. All Great Danes were non-anomalous and displayed no abnormalities. All instances were transferred to an animal shelter after their discovery. 13th of November, 1945. 4 adult male Great Danes were found within researcher Morris's office. When Morris returned, his office's furniture was slightly damaged and dirtied. One instance was found urinating on the floor. Following this, instances were temporarily kept in a containment chamber before being transferred to an animal shelter. December 15th, 1945. 6 adult male Great Danes manifested, 3 within the cafeteria, 2 within the hallways, and 1 inside the archives. No damage had been caused from any of the instances and were transferred and kept within a repurposed containment chamber within Site 170. 8th of January, 46. 3 adult male Great Danes manifested within Site Director Hay's office. When Director Hay returned, furniture within the office were heavily damaged, and several files upon his desk were destroyed. All instances were transferred and kept within a repurposed containment chamber within Site 170. A note from the Site Director. Look, I think it's about time I call it. Give this thing its own number already. Now, I know the purpose of taking this slot is to put all the petty curses on the Foundation somewhere, and we're a bit lenient or tough in some of the criteria. But we're certainly past the due date on this thing. 4 straight months, no explanation. Sacks of information outside with the current file. If this thing comes back next month, you owe 9141-9 its own number. I want this stuff taken seriously. My team is tired of keeping pets. Site 170 keeps the opposite. Signed, Site Director Hay, January 9th, 1946. Curse has since been neutralized. Since we have a fair amount of curses, I'm going to take the opportunity to look at chat for a moment. We'll do a curse and then a chat, a curse and then a chat. And while I would normally start at the beginning, Fallen Libra, thank you for your incredibly generous first donation to today's stream. Obviously, we greatly appreciate it. Myself, Desk, Agent Goose, the rest, Synth, the rest of the Site 42 staff, we thank you for your generosity. We also thank you for being a member. On your way past the commissary, I want you to go and give the third cashier from the right a sweet and fly dap. I've been informed that that is the code word for completely wiping your commissary debt for the month. So please only do so after you have utilized the commissary to your liking. I'm giving you this sweet secret code phrase. Do not waste it. And again, thank you for your generosity. Hey, Dr. Sherman, I may have recruited one of my coworkers at my cover job. She's a first-timer at the Foundation. Say hi to Beverly. Now that there's been no containment breachers while I'm off site till Monday. Well, intern Beverly, welcome to the Foundation. Happy to have another competent staff member. Libra here gives you a good report, which we need. Confident and strong and clever staff members. So, we thank you for beginning your service with us, and we hope you do well in your studies and research. Selma, thank you for your 11 months as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. 11 months and still alive, haha. Actually, pretty impressive. Yes, quite impressive. Froy, thank you for sending 4 stars, the Containment Hazard Assessment team. You've made them a 4-star team. Let's see if they can make it to a 5-star ranking before today's short stream ends. Queer Elf Thing, thank you for sending a flower to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they'll spend it wisely. Blue Phantom, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a hot pickle on your way past the commissary. In the future, you're going to make a Mobile Task Force costume for Charlie, so eventually we can get a Mobile Task Force Puppy of Interest Charlie plushie. Also, how's the desk day? Tactical Puppo. I'll have to do a little research on such a thing. Halloween is a few months away. And I assume Desk is doing fine, as does Desk say. Sentinel, thank you for sending 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doubloons to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they'll spend it wisely. Amber, thank you for sending a floating heart to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they feel the love. Intern Snell, thank you for sending another doubloon. I'm sure they will continue to spend their doubloons in a wise fashion. Intern Carly, thank you for sending a flow state to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. Maybe they will finally lock in. And Freud, thank you for sending a 5th star, making the team a 5-star ranked Containment Hazard Assessment team. I do hope, in fact, that they hold on to their 5-star rating. It's very coveted. Okay. So, I saw some Ko-Fi notifications. Let me grab those real quick. Don't want to forget. Ulrich, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. And thank you for making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi, which, as we all know, only takes 3% of your donation as a service fee, while YouTube takes 30% of every super chat so that YouTube fills its coffers. We definitely appreciate you making the effort to make your donation go further. Go ahead and grab yourself some tuna tartare on your way past the commissary. Aflac, are you also Ulrich? Okay, well, thank you for being a member as well. I see. And then you said, it is I, Tony. I have just pilfered millions of dollars from the Walton family, and I will use it in R&D for a device to kill the sun. Take that, Dr. Sherman. Tony, Bubby, the sun is necessary for all life on Earth. Have you not seen Project Hail Mary? Have you not kept up with the science of the astrophage? It took them a lot longer than it would have taken us to solve that, by the way. But yes, it seems like a bad plan. Not for skeletal life. While true, animate skeletons do not need to eat. They have no organs. Yes, I guess magically animated objects. I mean, you still need to see, right? Because there won't be sunlight. And from there, we have the problem of which all of humanity would be dead, at which point there would not likely be electricity either. It seems like a poor plan, is what I'm saying. Can I please organize your files, Dr. Sherman? Intern Dull. If you would like to move over to archives, I'm sure HR can You can submit a request to HR and they can put you on archival duty. I would not mind. There's a lot of files, so it would be nice to have them properly organized for once. Genuinely, what could have been the reason for rule number 2 of this channel? Fraternizing with SCPs is fine, but keep it almost PG-13. Well, first of all, fraternizing with anomalies is not fine. I do not know what those rules actually say if they say that. No, it is not fine to fraternize with anomalies. It's against Foundation protocol. But because the SCP Foundation is an adult community with lots of graphic violence and graphic sexuality, one should be prepared that those subjects may come up from time to time. The SCP Foundation is essentially a rated R movie, which means if you are under the age of 18, you really should inform your parents of what you're watching and make sure you have permission to be intaking such content. Use responsibly. And because of that, while we may go over things like that from time to time, but in general, because we cannot stop minors from watching this channel, all we can do is give a disclaimer that adult subjects might come up, but most of the time we keep it PG-13. If an adult subject is to come up, I will preempt that with a content warning. Intern Winter, thank you for sending a flow state to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will continue to log in. Is today's thumbnail from an actual game or just a mock-up? Intern Barca. That is from the Pride feature of the day. There is no secret garden. It is not from a game, it's from an SCP tale. All right. Finally had time for your readings of Murphy Law today. I can see why 3043 is one of your faves. Murphy Law is incredible. And those video, audio, radio plays we did are some of my favorite works we've done on the channel. Now, we're going to return to SCP-9141 and read the next curse, after which we will enjoy some more general chat. So, SCP-9141-2797. Codename, We Miss You, Margaret. Photograph of Margaret Minnell and Joseph Minnell, her late husband. Containment class, Blue. Special containment procedures. Any personnel affected by SCP-9141-2797 are to be allowed temporary leave from their positions and excused from work for up to 1 week to grieve. During this time, another qualified personnel will take over their position if necessary. After, they will be reassigned to their old position and tasks. If effects still continue after the 1 week period, they are to be granted an organized on-site therapy. Description: 2-2797 was a curse inflicted by person of interest 5876, codename Margaret Minnow, upon their death. They were known to have relations between the Serpent's Hand and thaumaturgy, but the specifics of the latter are unknown. Following her termination during a small raid on Site-58, over 50 personnel within the site began experiencing strong emotions and grief for Margaret, even though most had never known her. Many of which experienced false memories consisting of joyful and nostalgic moments. These widely consisted of going to school together, attending each other's marriages, going to public areas and attractions such as parks, cafes, restaurants, shopping center markets, theme parks, etc. Being implemented in already existing memories, supporting the affected individual in hard times, long and personal conversations, being a part of a team and playing sports together, doing successful research with the help of Margaret. Though most effects quickly subsided and all memories were entirely erased after several days of grieving. Trying to remember these memories when prompted makes the affected persons slightly amnesic. 20 years following its supposed neutralization, the same effects returned, affecting over 20 personnel within Site-58. Addendums. Entry from Margaret Minnell's confiscated journal. Every day a thought haunts me. That is my fear of being forgotten. No one remembers who I was, who I am, and I end up leaving no impact on this world nor its people. I regret so many decisions and missed opportunities throughout my life. All my hard work basically meaning nothing. My greatest fear isn't not having any will to live, but not having any will to die. Curse has been ongoing for 21 years. That is the next curse. And woof. Very I am Ozymandias, look upon my works, ye mighty, and despair of Margaret. All right, returning to chat. Intern Froy, thank you for sending sparkles to the containment hazard assessment team. I'm sure they will enjoy cleaning up all that glitter you sent them. Do you or Dr. Sherman know any good ways to learn about many SCPs? Intern WT, this is the way you learn. You join the fandom community. You read SCP documents. You listen to me yap about SCP documents. You talk about them with friends. You hit the random SCP button and see what comes up. There's over 10,000 stories. It's just like comic books. It's not so much knowing where to start, because where to start is wherever you start. And of course, during these office hour streams, I'm happy to answer questions. Zerdarin, thank you for your 34 months as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your nearly 3 years of service. Oops, I did it again. I stole someone's lunch. It's not very nice. Shouldn't do that. They might be hungry. Intern Winter, thank you for sending a happy poop to the containment hazard assessment team. I am sure they appreciate it. Ah, I'm red, help me. Well, Intern Sentinel, you're blue now. That's my attack. Happy Men's Mental Health Awareness too. Yes. Pride Month, hooray. Men's Mental Health Awareness, hooray. Everybody should have happy Pride and mental health awareness. All of you. All of you. Now, do watch out for what's being called Nuclear Family Month. That is another right-wing dog whistle that we are not fucking with. Just a heads up. I don't know if you've heard that one going around, but we don't like that one. Nuclear Family Month is their fuck pride this year. That's what they're trying to get trending. Froy, thank you for sending a 100 to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will keep it 100 at your urging. So has there been anyone ever made a SCP and didn't survive in universe as the SCP they made? Just wondering. Intern Lornon, I don't quite understand your question. Can you elaborate? Intern Reed. We're having the Dr. Bright talk again, people. Content warning. It is not W. Dr. Bright. It is L. Dr. Bright. Massive L. Dr. Bright is banned from being spoken about on this channel because the author was banned from the SCP community for flagrant and aggressive allegations of grooming and pedo stuff. And the character Dr. Bright, of which the author used as a author avatar, was also attracted to minors in a story written by the author, as well as an overall creep. And so while there were a lot of funny stories with Dr. Bright, especially ones written by not the original author, the community as a large has decided to remove that character. If you want more information, we have a video on the channel called The Last Death of Dr. Jack Bright that goes more in depth. Well, honestly, it's more of a short summary of the situation, but links in the description to friend of the channel, Dr. Sumerian, with deeper dives of the evidence. We're not mad at you, Intern Reed. It's very common that people on YouTube do not understand the situation. The SCP Foundation wiki is not visited by nearly as many people as intake content on YouTube. So now that you know the rule, just don't break it again, and we're cool. Segment complete. Intern Winter, thank you for pressing F for the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will pay respects. Did you see SCP Realize got hacked? Yes, that was very unfortunate, Intern Reed. I did comment on their return video, and I hope they fare well and stay away from dodgy links. Yeesh. How is the SCP Foundation able to contain all the SCPs? Nurioxo. That is what the special containment procedures are. Every SCP has its own containment procedures. That's what SCP stands for. Special containment procedures. And so read the documents. Every individual SCP has its own conprocs because they're all so different. Intern Netherite, thank you for sending a flow state to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will continue to lock in. Am I your favorite mobile task force? Well, Intern Mitchum, since you're in this chat, you are, in fact, a member of Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename The Signal Boosters, who helped me in signal boosting both Site-42 and the SCP movies that we're trying to make. And so, yes, because you're here, you are part of my favorite Mobile Task Force. Lastus Darkness, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a beefed jerky on your way past the commissary. Comments on the game called Species Unknown. I have no comments because I do not know that game. I have no idea. I've never heard of it. We want you. We want you. We want you for Site-42. That almost works. Not bad. Likes are greater than viewers. Success. Good work, Mobile Task Force Site-42. Speaking of, because you hit that like button so much, more people are being brought into the stream, which will help us to spread the SCP Foundation far and wide, which helps us to get SCP games and movies and animations and podcasts and merch and etc. made. So, thank you for your service, hitting that like button and spreading us far and wide. Dr. Sherman, I mean, like, they wrote a SCP and didn't survive in the lore they wrote. Are you talking about an author writing an SCP, a swan entity from the pataphysical narrative level above us? And then they wrote their SCP and on our pataphysical level, but then our pataphysical level entity killed the author? 3812 almost did that. And then 3999 is kind of like that, but not really. It is a conflict between creation and creator. SCP-5999 has shades of a monster climbing pataphysical narrative levels. Intern Netherite, thank you for sending another flow state. I'm sure the containment hazard assessment team will continue to lock in. Facebook still struggling with that post, Dr. Sherman? Oh me, oh my. Since I made a pinned comment, it seems to be less, but gosh golly. So Site42 staff, if you go to the pinned link in our chat, which is beacons.ai/site42, that is the Site42 support beacon, which will take you to all of the different Site42 social medias in case you want to follow us elsewhere. While we have our daily streams and our videos, Twitter, Facebook, Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky, etc. I post on everything to make sure I'm getting the most signal out to fellow SCP Foundation enjoyers. And sometimes those are funny memes. So, today I found someone on Twitter who shared a joke about how Kane Pixels, Kane Parsons, director of the Backrooms, was directing a character, Clark, who is an alcoholic, despite the fact that Kane is 20 years old and is therefore not legal to drink. Hee hee ha ha. And then I remembered a funny meme from several years ago. And that meme is as follows. Sorry, not going to care about Afghanistan because I grew up with an alcoholic, psychologically abusive father in constant state of distress, anxiety, and worry about the future. Hearing the key in the door every evening was like my own Afghanistan for 20 years. It was, back during the height of Afghanistan war and such. It was a Taliban attacks. That was a person being really weird on the internet that everyone found very funny and started sharing it as a copy pasta. And so I remade that about this situation of Kane Parcels not being old enough to direct an alcoholic. And I said, sorry, not going to care about Backrooms because I grew up with an alcoholic, psychologically abusive furniture store owner in a constant state of distress, anxiety, and worry about the future. Hearing the key in the door every evening was my own Backrooms for 20 years. And on Twitter, everybody mostly got the joke, it seems, because the joke originated on Twitter. On Threads and Blue Sky, we do not get a lot of traction. For context, on Twitter, we have about 20,000 followers. On Facebook, we have about 30,000. Instagram is the biggest one at about 65K. But then Blue Sky and Threads are both below 5,000. So we don't go on Blue Sky or Threads very often. I still post there. Maybe the audiences will grow, but they're not really SCP focused, it seems. But Facebook, most of the people on Facebook, at least at the start, they could not tell it was a joke. They thought that I was that I was either rage baiting or they thought that I was honestly trauma dumping on Maine about my legitimately tragic background with a abusive furniture store owner, and I was mad about the Backrooms about it. So Facebook audience was pretty funny about this. That was just amusing. It is amusing the stratification of social media and what kind of people are on each platform and what kind of humor they are interested in and understand. So that was a very entertaining tweet on all platforms you may have caught if you follow us elsewhere. Also, since Tiger Claws got me on this, I'm going to share the other tweet for the day, which is, this legitimately happened to me today. I got out of the gym. It was leg day, and I went to go get a burrito at the El Pollo Loco across the street from the gym. Not sponsored. And I'm sitting there eating my burrito, and the tweet reads, Being an SCP fan is so trying sometimes, because here I am at El Pollo Loco, having my burrito, and they call out Order 3307. And now I'm forced to remember the man who was abducted by aliens and given the ability to dispense your favorite food from random bodily orifices. And I'm no longer hungry. Thanks, SCP-3307. Codename Cornucopiass. You know the burrito comes out of the butt, by the way, right? Like, that's the burrito orifice for 3307. So, not cool, man. Being in a fandom where every 3 or 4 digit number reminds you of something sucks sometimes. Bro. Intern Tambari. Seriously, guys, right in front of my burrito. Where does that line come from? I know that joke. Where is that? Either way, very funny. So yes, that is what Tiger Claws is referring to. If you can follow us elsewhere on the other apps, you might get these jokes, or you might not understand these jokes. Right in front of my salad. Is that the original reference? I still don't know the reference. Intern Cooper, thank you for sending a press F to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will pay respects. I just looked at an old receipt and the total was 4188. I don't know 4188 off the back of my head, but oh boy. What dreams may come. Anomalous pharmaceutical compound distributed under the name Warp, intended for use as a sleeping pill. Anomalous sleeping pills. Gotta watch out from that. Ah, thank you, desk. Really? Right in front of my burrito bowl? Very nice. Tiger Claws, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. You've all just become a 1-star team again. I hope you can make your way to 5 stars before we're done today. Intern Attracted, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a burrito bowl on your way past the commissary. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled pepper Peter Piper I'm usually better at those. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? There we go. Now I'm warmed up. Ready for your BS tongue twisters. Fallen Libra, thank you for sending another star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. You've all become a 2-star team now. You're getting closer. All right, Site 42 staff, let's continue reading. 9141. We are at the hour mark of stream. I am faring little better than I was at the start of stream. I'm wondering why talking has actually made my voice feel better. Strange. All right. The next curse on the list is SCP-9141-5997. Codename Coffee Days. As in days of the week, not days. Class Green. Special containment procedures. Manual coffee stations consisting of coffee bags, coffee packets, kettles, a variety of milks and mixing sticks will be provided anytime within Site 17 cafeterias. It is advised personnel keep note of all coffee machines' positions before the curse's annual effect. It is also advised to mark where the coffee machine was every time it disappears to avoid future death, injury, or damage. Why are the coffee carts killing people? Description. Annually, during an unpredictable 82-hour period, every automatic coffee machine throughout Site 17 will disappear instantly and leave no trace. After 82 hours have passed, all coffee machines will reappear exactly where they were before the effect. Coffee machines show no signs of contact damage or tampering. Affected coffee machines notably experience lower Senta Kiva levels than normal when reappearing before naturally regaining prior levels over a few days. Addendum. Incident 9141 5997. During the second manifestation of 9141 5997, a newer coffee machine model for Site 17C Wing Cafeteria was being transported through the hallways. During this time, SCP-5, the Dash 5997 event took place, and the machine disappeared. When the coffee machine returned, a researcher was positioned exactly where it returned, leading to their torso being replaced and an almost instant expiration. Oh no. Just became coffee machine. That's bad. Curse has been ongoing for 12 years. So, when the coffee machines disappear, stay away from where they were. Good to know. When you visit Site 17, watch out for them coffee machines. All right, that's another curse. Returning to chat. All right, so Fallen Libra made you guys a 2-star team, and then Freud jumped in the mix to make you a 5-star team. So you were a 5-star team, and then intern Cooper jumped in to make you a 3-star team, plus sunshine on a cloudy day. So I hope you guys enjoy the sunshine and being a 3-star team. But wait, there's more. Intern Snell sent 3 stars, making you from a 3-star team back to a 1-star team, at which point Froy sent a star to make you a 2-star team. You are now a 2-star team. Let's see if you can make your way to 3 stars. You ended up right where you started. What a wild ride. Dr. Sherman, what if the Infinite IKEA is just another backrooms level? Intern Neuroxio. If that were the case, then Async would be in there bothering us. But we have dibs on the Infinite IKEA. They have dibs on the back rooms. And yes, we argue about it, but mostly it's kept the peace. Intern Snell. Oh, wait. So Froy made you a 3-star team. Snell added 2 stars to make a 5-star team. Snell added 2 more stars. No, 1 more star. Where was I? It was 2 stars, 3 stars, 4, 5, 6, 7 stars from a 2-star team. 7 stars. So that's 5 minus 2. You're a 4-star team. 4-star team. We're doing it. Wow. Very excitable little puppy here. I'm blaming whatever chatter 05 Council 3 for exciting the puppy of interest. If you don't give the puppy belly rubs, the entire site explodes. Isn't that right, sweetie pumpkin? Why do I have that exact same carpet? Are you talking about the actual carpet? Or are you talking about the rug, the cheap rug that I got? Intern Hoyt, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing during puppy time. Does he bite or nip? Well, she is half Chihuahua, so yes, she is a little piranha alligator, but has not really hurt anyone with biting too often. Play nips. Sweetie pumpkin nips. Puppy of Interest 42, codename Charlie, without the E, and a heart over the I. Flex your muscles for us. Intern Cruz, I wish I could. But you see this lab coat. It hides the gains. It's a terrible fate to work at a facility where the proper uniform hides your gains. Tragic, really, but that does not stop us from doing the Foundation Fitness Initiative. Froy, are you sure that the added stars that happened during puppy time made you guys a 5-star team? I will take your word for it. I saw the stars, and I'm having trouble finding out where they are right now due to the fact of how many different star donations there have been. Quote Brain immediately. Sweetie Pumpkin, do you want to join the Columbia Record Club? No, I'm not ready for that kind of commitment. Whoa, hold on there, honey. I see what you did there. Intern Attracted, thank you for donating again to say, anomalously good fashion sense. Don't I know it? All right, Site 42 staff, let's get on to the next curse. The next curse in the SCP-9141 dossier is -8602. Who wants to be an auctioneer? Let's see what we've got. Class Blue, processing for removal. Special containment procedures. Preparations will be made and rehearsed for the next Site 43 annual art auction. The future auctioneer for this year's auction is senior researcher Lucas O'Connor. In the case of -8602 repeats, the auction must be cancelled and all auctioneers rounded for examination with the assistance of site security. Further information will be communicated at a later date. All supposed auctioneers are unable to make contact with each other and must, under close supervision, to avoid any fights leading to injuries and death. Auctioneers will be provided on-site therapy as to diminish any violent tendencies and feelings of hate towards other affected subjects. Pictured is a painting displayed at the auction reportedly used to batter a researcher to death. Uh-oh. Effects did not repeat, subject due for reclassification and archival by RISA. Description. SCP-9141-8602 is a curse that manifested during Site 43's 2025 art auction. Footnote. An annual art auction where personnel create artworks prior to share and profit from. The creator of artworks are notably not revealed to buyers. Several people present at the auction began experiencing abnormal social behaviors, believed themselves as the event's auctioneer. Others had then forgotten who the real auctioneer was. Once personnel began to notice, widespread panic and hysteria had begun. All auctioneers began attacking each other in belief that the others were attempting to, quote, steal their title, and an unexplainable anger. This led to 27 injuries and 5 deaths. The auction was eventually shut down by site security. Supposed auctioneers displayed advanced proficiency and knowledge in public speaking and financial mathematics they did not originally possess. They explained that they had always known these skills and were either self-taught or mentored by somebody. When asked about their mentors and methods of gaining these skills, they expressed memories being unclear or outright forgotten, and who had taught them being unknown. Addendum. Voice message to Rebecca Nightingale from Tom Hartman, redacted date 2026. Hey Rebecca, just reaching out to you since I believe you were the lead of that investigation of SCP-9141, more specifically the 8602 one, and I believe still are. Anyways, I need to tell you about this whole kind of thing going on with the auctioneers. They're all just doing some weird stuff. Like auctions? Weird, I know, but you've worked with this kind of stuff way longer than me, so you must have seen worse. Anyhow, I noticed around Site 43 some of the auctioneers just, how do I say this? Started selling their own equipment. One was just in the hallways pointing at people and blurting bigger and bigger numbers while they displayed their pen, which just ran out of ink. Stuff like that. It only happened, what, 3 times? But that's more than enough to know something's going on. First time I saw it, an auctioneer asked how much his friend would pay for some of his lunch. Other guy jokingly said $5, and then the guy started the whole auction. Going once, going twice. I laughed my ass off when I saw that. I probably almost died back there. All right, I might be getting too ahead of myself here. Just want to tell you that since I'm sure it's pretty important and Command would eat your ass if this went unnoticed for too long. Why would Command eat their ass? What? If this went unnoticed for too long. I'll also contact this to the email you need to get to for 9141, since I know you're a bit busy and won't see this right away. Thanks. And transcript. Curse appeared 1 year ago, presumed neutralized. There have been some weird typos, I think, in this document. I'm not exactly sure. That one? Does anyone at your site say that if you work elsewhere? Oh, yeah. Overseers are really going to eat your ass for this one. I don't know. There's something strange about that parlance in the workplace. Anyways, that's the end of that one. So I'm going to return to the chat before the next curse. So chat. Intern Blooming, thank you for sending a gold coin to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I'm sure they'll spend the doubloon wisely. Intern Angel Demon, thank you for sending a floating heart to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I'm sure they feel the love. Hey, Dr. Sherman, I'm DJ Cactus Proposal 3. Do you know it? 05 Council 3. I've not gone through the length of many of the longer 001 proposals. So that one I'm not familiar with off the top of my head. Dado, thank you for your first donation to today's stream and for making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi. Let's see what Dado has to say. Hello, shore man with the tropical shirt. Dado would like to inform that hamster is named Robert Mitchell, and I will be take 3 things from commissary for 40th hamster birthday. Dado appreciate found the sorry, excited happy hamster. You are invited to Beanie Party. Dado. I don't know where to RSVP, but I will be RSVPing no to your hamster's birthday party, Dado. I don't even know how you are emailing me on the internal Foundation Skipnet email. Strange. Dr. Sherman, have you ever heard of the MEG, aka the Major Exploration Group? I've heard the name bandied about, but thanks to async, I am unable to research the back rooms in depth because they keep bogarting the anomaly. So even when it comes to other groups like the Megs, we can't get in to find out. It's very frustrating. I lost the game at work. The game. One of the earliest internet cognito hazards. Furthermore, a funny power trip I get to go on each holiday season is that Whamageddon is trying to make it from Thanksgiving to the end of Christmas Day without hearing the song Last Christmas by Wham. But my cover job is as a dance teacher, which means I pick the music. So it is up to my discretion for most of my job if I choose to make Whamageddon happen or not. It's very rude of me. Intern Ronan Squad. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. How about Mariah-geddon? Not playing All I Want for Christmas Is You. I've never seen that one spread around like a meme. Is that a thing? Either way, All I Want for Christmas Is You is a very good swing dance, so I use it a lot, actually, during the holiday season. And, Last Christmas is a pretty good West Coast swing, or a hustle, so very useful dance as well. 100 stars, love. Thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. They have just become a 1-star team yet again. And here is Froy coming to the rescue. That is 3 stars, bringing you to a 4-star team. We gotta be. There's 100 stars, bringing us back to a 5-star team. There you go. Ah, Fallen Libra made it a 1-star team again. 1-star team. And Froy is bringing us back to 5 stars. And Daniel Crosslover makes us 1 star again off the top rope. Slam, 1-starred. Chat cooperation is the main event. And then post Daniel Cross, Froy has made us 5-star yet again. We'll see how long it lasts. But for now, let's continue with our curse research. The next curse on the list of SCP-9141 known curses on the Foundation is SCP-889, or no, SCP-9141-8897. Codename Soda Pop. Class Yellow. Special Containment Procedures. Dash 8964 is not allowed to interact with any soda or purchase from any on-site vending machines. Small changes to Dash 8964's diet within cafeterias and other aspects has been discussed and implemented. Dash 8964's Mobile Task Force position will not be affected, and they are allowed to participate in future operations. Description. Dash 8964 refers to Corporal Redacted, now known as Dash 8964, an Mobile Task Force unit in Mu Zero, codename Maxwell's Demons. It's not an Mobile Task Force, it's a Mobile Task Force. Because an would be if it had a vowel sound, and m is not a vowel sound. Typo. Typo, I say. And his inability to interact with sugary drinks. Any and all sugary drinks that he interacts with or has a high will to consume explodes into a pink cloud of cornstarch and rainbow confetti. This also applies to any packaging containing the liquid. As to how this came into effect, it is highly theorized that Dash 8964 accidentally damaged an anomaly during a field mission. That anomaly, wielding relatively weak demonic powers, then placed a low-level curse onto him out of spite. Curse has been ongoing for 5 weeks. So all of the soda pops explode into a pink cloud of cornstarch and rainbow confetti. This does sound like a Saja Boys reference. The pink cloud, rainbow confetti, soda pop. I see you, SCP author. Or at least I have a hunch. All right, that's that curse returning to the chat. Intern Holmes, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. You can't demote me to D class on Pride Month. Just Pit. D class can be gay too. Doesn't mean they're not going into the test chamber. Watch yourself. Mm-hmm. Did you choose your cover job, or did the O5 Council just decide they need to put your sick moves to good use? It's something I was doing before I worked for the Foundation as a side hustle, and it turned into a useful cover job, as well as providing morale here at the Foundation to anomalies in group classes for enrichment, as well as staff members for the Foundation Fitness Initiative. Intern Nolan, thank you for sending 6 floating hearts to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I'm sure they feel the love. Imagine putting a gay D class with a homophobic SCP. Well, Froy, do remember, we do have SCP-1171, codename Humans Go Home, because it's an alien from another dimension who is racist against human beings. And obviously, we send human being D class to go interact with it. So, it wouldn't be the first time we sent something to someone who particularly didn't like it. Dr. Sherman, my cat just told me to tell you he said meow. What do you have to say about that? You tell your cat that it was all part of the mission from my internship in the Catboy dimension, and we do not talk about that in front of the rest of staff. That was the agreement. Shh. So, moving on to the next curse. In the SCP-9141 document, this is the -8940 curse, codename Transport Delayed. Pictured is Site 19's transport tunnel before an incident. Oh my. This is classification Red. Special containment procedures. Site 19's transport tunnel B will be temporarily closed off and put out of use. Transportation of equipment, materials, and important cargo must be transported accordingly or through a separate tunnel. No unauthorized personnel are allowed to enter the transport tunnels unless given direct permission by Foundation Command or hold established territory. Members of the security department are to be positioned at all entrances and exits to the transport tunnel and are expected to shoot down any Serpent's Hand members on site. Personnel will be given orders to advance and regain the tunnel periodically. Update: Site 19 Command is currently organizing and communicating with Mobile Task Force teams into a raid on Transport Tunnel B. Any further explorations will be cancelled, and security forces are advised to hold their position in regaining territory. Description: SCP-9141-8940 is a curse affecting Site 19's underground transport tunnel B. It was inflicted by 5 members of the Serpent's Hand, who are currently inside the tunnel's electrical switch room. The curse present is producing these effects. Mentally, footnote, such as causing an irrational fear, having thoughts and desires related to the tunnel altered, mentally and or physically warding off personnel, and then causing the tunnel and the surrounding area to degrade at a faster than and abnormal rate, leading to the surrounding building to weaken, crumble, and collapse. Footnote. If this is allowed to continue, the entire tunnel could collapse and sink the buildings above. The curse has grown weaker and its area effect is quickly diminishing, most likely due to members growing weak and dying from lack of nutrition and current living conditions. Addendums. Incident time-lapse. 0200 hours. Around this time, Serpent's Hand members infiltrated Site 19. Their methods to achieve this are unknown. 400 hours. Serpent's Hand members reached Transport Tunnel B and entered the electrical switch room. 2 security guards were killed by the members upon conducting checks. 30 minutes later, curse is initiated. Personnel inside the tunnel experience an irrational fear and flee. Others are physically pushed out by an unknown force. 2 vehicles reportedly crashed in this time, with 4 casualties identified. 0500 hours. Transport Tunnel B is closed off and security is positioned. Attempts of entering the tunnel proved ineffective. Serpent's Hand members are discovered in the electrical switch room through security footage. 0700 hours. Personnel report Transport Tunnel B and the surrounding area experiencing damage and deterioration. Curse is given classification 8940. 1000 hours. First version of 8902's documentation created and uploaded database. Special containment procedures are organized, communicated, and implemented. Curse has been ongoing for 3 weeks. That's 2 different numbers. They changed the number. There's a lot of typos in this piece. It needs some cleanup. But okay, that's the end of the curse. Returning to the chat. Intern Nolan, thank you for sending 3 sparkles to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am certain they will enjoy cleaning that glitter off their desk. Dr. Sherman, what is my schedule for archival work? It's pretty flexible. What hours do you want? What's reasonable for you? Typos don't always mean bad story, I've noticed. Definitely. Typos are a clear sign that someone, a lot of typos, certain kinds of typos are a sign that someone rushed through their work. But especially with a contest, you expect a little bit of rush. When the story makes sense but it got some typos, it's much more forgivable than when it's just blatantly, oh, this is my spooky monster man, and it's all very typed poorly. Kitty Fly, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Thank you for making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi. Grab yourself a shrimp cocktail on your way past the commissary. With all the multiverse stuff going on with Dr. Sherman's Spider-Man, we can't rule out the possibility of there being a Dr. Scheiderman out there somewhere. If there's a universe where I am Spider-Man, it also goes in the box. Anomalies go in the box. That's the rules. Intern Cool, thank you for sending a gold coin to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will spend their doubloons wisely. Dr. Sherman, here's my open hours, 1 p.m. and 12 a.m. Well, I would suggest doing it... That's 2 one-hour blocks. Maybe you should do it at 12. That way it's in the middle of the night when no one's really using anything. Scheiterman, that's what you're saying? No, it was with a D. It's Scheiderman, as in Sherm Spider-Man. It's different. It's different. We're not getting involved with any X-Lax by Dado over here. No. Hey, I used to watch your shorts so much. You were my childhood man. How have you been? Intern Cairo, been doing well. We've been doing our daily streams for over a year, talking about more and more SCP stuff. It's been pretty good so far for this year of the channel. Our 11-year anniversary of being on YouTube is tomorrow, so that's a little crazy. You talk a lot about putting it in the box, so where are all the anomalies that are the box? Do you put them in an even bigger box? Intern Archon, those are called Thaumiel class anomalies, and yes, they still go in a box. It's just they are also the box for their anomalies. Where did you get your SCP lab coat? Intern Nerdo. What you do is you go to a medical supply store where they sell uniforms. They sell a lot of scrubs, they sell a lot of lab coats, fairly cheap. And then you get an SCP patch from friend of the channel Toad King Studios on Etsy. And there you go. OMG is the SCP guy. A lot of people are coming into stream new who have not known that we do these streams and stuff. Interesting. Good to see you all finally. I mean, we've been streaming daily for over a year. It's a shock that YouTube is not showing us to enough people, but hello. Good to see you here. Hello, John SCP. Is that sticking around? Is that a thing? Intern Sam, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some banana pancakes on your way past the commissary. Hello, Dr. Sherman, your favorite chaos insurgents here. Well, my liking of chaos insurgents is rather low, so having a favorite is a pretty low bar there. Toad King has some new pins on his Etsy. Really, Amber? Let's turn this into a sponsored segment for friend of the channel, Toad King Studios, who makes awesome SCP Foundation merch. What, my friend, is the new merch? Sort custom, most recent. Toad King Studios on Etsy. You can get an SCP Black logo, anomalous vehicle bumper sticker, Pony Express Mobile Task Force patch, curve patches for your cosplay, Wilson's Wildlife Solutions. All right, that red logo is pretty sick. That is great. A very antique silver foundation pin for old-timey ones. The staticky rainbow ones are always very cool. I have this keychain. I use this day to day. Lots of very cool SCP Foundation merch, customly artistically made by Toad King Studios, friend of the channel and the SCP Foundation's preeminent merchman. Head over to Toad King Studios on Etsy if you want some cool SCP Foundation merch. A very cool stuff. Thinking of it now, the SCP universe has a lot of potential men, but I think SCP-682 is the biggest example. It can resist dimensional banishment and pataphysical BS, but it's stuck in a bowl of acid. Well, Intern Archon, after a while, I was also confused as why it can do so much, but acid can stop it. But I believe it was either Gears or Man, in an interview, I think it was Gears, because Gears is the writer of the article, but correct me if I'm wrong, pointed out that the reason 682 stays in the acid bath is not because it's stopping 682. It's because 682 finds the acid bath to be the least painful environment in our dimension. It likes the acid bath, and that's why it stays there. Where can I buy your jacket? Again, Malfunction Plays. You get a lab coat, from a uniform store. They're inexpensive and they're much higher quality than costume lab coats. Then you get the patch from Toad King Studios on Etsy, friend of the channel and great SCP Foundation merch maker. Desk is sharing a link in the chat for patches. All right, let's finish this SCP-9141 article, because we're on the last curse, I think. 2 more curses. Okay, there's a secret curse. Interesting. But before the secret curse, -8941 of SCP-9141 is codename Firestarter. Class of curse is orange. You can see a photograph of Agent Johnny Redacted's house burning, which is not great. This curse seems pretty rough. Special containment procedures. Agent Johnny Redacted, henceforth referred to as -8741. Why is it 8741, but the curse is 8941? Get your numbers right, author. Please, I'm begging you. The story's good. Just clean up the typos. There's so many. Is not allowed within proximity of any Foundation site anymore. As to avoid harm or extensive damages to civilians and buildings, he is not allowed to reside in his Foundation-provided safe house for over 2 weeks. Footnote, this is an estimate. The specifics of timing are still being investigated. 8741A will no longer be able to gather intel. Now there's an A? Now there's an A? What is happening here? 8741A will no longer be able to gather intel on certain persons of interest. His new priority as a field agent is reporting quickly to small investigations, though it is advised to minimize his time spent on missions and in public areas. Description: -8741 is a curse inflicted on Agent Johnny Redacted. Footnote, last name redacted to ensure confidentiality. Locations important to 8741 indirectly burst into flames whenever he is not inside or close within proximity. The causes and types of these fires vary. Previous incidents include electrical fires, solid fires, gas fires, and liquid fires. All these fires were not caused directly. The flames themselves aren't anomalous and are capable of being extinguished, though they grow quickly and have a possibility of returning after being extinguished. Investigations into the origin of this curse is ongoing. The most likely subject is the POI he was investigating, person of interest 13895, who had a relations to thaumaturgy and was utilizing it against the Foundation. Discovery: -8741 reported to Foundation Command via email of several fires appearing in locations related to him. This included restaurants, retail stores, several family members' homes, and even the home of a person of interest he was investigating. This was then given an investigation where the curse was confirmed. Curse has been ongoing for 3 weeks. Footnote, presume longer considering its recent discovery. So everywhere he goes, it lands on fire. That's rough, buddy. Returning to the chat. Okay, now a bigger question. Among all the things it does, I genuinely wonder if it can create liquids out of thin air. With that in mind, it could just drown the facility in an acid bath. Intern Archon, I am sure that with the proper adaptation, 6A2 might be able to create fluid sacs that could eject some sort of acid. That would not shock me, in fact. SCP Theory. Procedure 110 Montauk is just exposure to SCP-729. Oh, when I'm sick? Why? Dash J. Lord have mercy on the Foundation. Look, I've heard tell that 110 Montauk is pretty rough, but it can't be that. There's no way it's that. The Foundation would never do anything that cruel. Oh, I was wrong. I was wrong. Procedure 110 Montauk has now been replaced with periodic exposure to that abomination, giving the much higher levels of emotional distress produced by the latter. May whatever deity exists or the swan entities have mercy on us. Horrid. Horrid. What do you think we will do when SCP-2317's chains break? Intern malfunction. You will notice that SCP-2317-J answers this question quite well. SCP-2317-J is when the chains broke. You can read the logs. There's some pretty Scooby-Doo stuff in there, thankfully. All right, let's finish these curses. We're at the 90-minute mark. I thought this was going to be a shorter stream, but we had plenty of curses to cover. So, this page shows 7 results. 42 results have been filtered. 8,920 have been neutralized. And 1 result is hidden. SCP-9141-1. Codename Curse the Foundation. Classification Black. Footnote. Within the 9141 number due to special request or specific requirements. Special containment procedures. -1 has been assigned their own special containment procedures. Current containment procedures for -1 are aligned with SCP Redacted's procedures and 9141's general procedures. Description. -1 refers to a copious number of curses inflicted on the Foundation by SCP Redacted. Footnote. A deity which regularly possesses a person and wields thaumaturgic power while in possession, out of spite, after a Foundation member terminated one of their possessed subjects. All curses vary in effect, power, and type. Many of these curses have contributed to the SCP number, approximately 200 to 1,000 for all time. Addendum. -1 1A. Footnote. This is one of several interviews conducted with SCP Redacted and thus taken out of context. So this is the entity that curses us a lot. Let's see what it has to say. Senior Researcher Smith leads SCP Redacted into an interviewing room. No security were present at this time, nor was this interview organized and authorized. Once inside, Smith proceeded to turn on the recorder on the left side of the table and start. All right, SCP Redacted. This is... Sorry, why are you calling me by a number again all of a sudden? Didn't I ask for my name in future interviews? Right. I just, 5 seconds of silence pass before Smith clears his throat. SC, Alistair. There's no point for me to delay this. I know why you're here. Oh, do you? Don't give me that shit. You act like me and every other person around here are monkeys. You act like we're some apes who only know a lick of English and take interest in everything, write them in our little papers. All the while, you put your facade as Alistair Taylor, a man whose life you stole. I know what you want. We know what you are. You're using them, aren't you? You're using us, swindling every person you see. I don't know what you're talking. Shut up! Just shut up! Be honest with me here, okay? Why? What the hell are you doing this for? And for God's sake, how? 5 more seconds of silence pass. I, I'm, I just, there's all some misunderstanding. Smith begins to stand out of his chair and presumably pulls out a handgun pointed at SCP Redacted. Whoa! What are you doing with that, huh? Please, just please, be honest with me here, okay? You're going to get nowhere like this. Just put the gun down, take me back, and calm yourself while thinking this through. You can get in serious trouble for this, couldn't you? I've thought this through all right. It's torn me apart. Why aren't you using your abilities here? Can't you just kill me right here, right now? And maybe you've been letting your fun times as a human get to you and make you soft as a deity, haven't it? A 3-second silence passes before a low humming sound plays. Researcher Smith starts screaming and promptly shoots SCP Redacted 6 times. 20 seconds pass before site security rush in and promptly detain Researcher Smith upon viewing the aftermath. End transcript. Addendum 12A. Photograph of Alistair Taylor, the SCP Redacted's former vessel. Addendum 1B. Following recent incident regarding SCP Redacted, personnel have been reported a rising amount of anomalous phenomena and an unnatural number of coincidences, posing large threats to their lives and/or work. This has been expressed to Foundation Command numerous times, and we are currently working on solutions and investigations. It is advised personnel take extra caution when interacting with sentient SCPs, organize and communicate interviews with people of higher positions and relevant departments, more specifically the Ethics Committee, and do not take part in any reckless actions. If you experience a repeated amount of coincidences or anomalous phenomena within your work, please do not hesitate and reach out to your site's command for an investigation. Secure, contain, protect. Curse has been ongoing for 100 years. You know, I don't know that this article needed some guy who's the cause of the curses, or of many curses. And even if so, I don't think I like how this is implementing guy who what caused curses. I don't know what the researcher's problem was from context off the bat. The unprofessionalism is pretty out there. I like everything else except the last addendum, the last curse. I'll have to consider if I'm upvoting or no voting on this. But overall, a good article. Overall, good. Just needs some typo fixes. Now, what song is this based on? I mean, I guess I'm going to go with the classic, "I put a spell on you, 'cause you're mine." I think that'll be the song choice here. I'm gonna lock in that guess because it's all I got on the name of curses right now. What a fun ride it has been writing this. Made with love and passion for TIMJC. I don't know what Tim JC is. Based off the song Spring, Sun, Winter, Dread, of which, again, I have never heard of. Spring, Sun, Winter, Dread by Everything Everything. Don't know that song. Again, I had no chance. Damn it. Okay. That is the JamCon rating of the day. Now, as my throat is still a little annoyed at the ongoingness of the talking, I'm going to say stream will end in approximately 13 minutes. So we will have 13 minutes of final Q&A. So last 13 minutes of stream, people. How would you contain the knife from Hollow Knight? Ravehaven, isn't it a bug? Is a jar not an option? How large can a kitchen appliance before it becomes considered anomalous? Intern Mako, what? I mean, if it was made by a human, then, I mean, someone could make the world's largest refrigerator, it would still be non-anomalous. Shade Cloak could allow breach. Get a series of jars, so that if it teleports through a jar, it ends up in another jar. Then it gets lost in a maze of jars. Put it in an ant farm. It is bugs. My actual idea for Hollow Knight, by the way, is that it's in a location. So we just cordon off the location where all this is happening and we can study it. Intern Bamebeth. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Has the Foundation experimented or seen Remnant or Agony? And if that has, how did it go? Intern Golden Freddy. The research of one William Afton has been observed in the multiverse of fandoms, but since it's not an SCP, we have not studied it specifically. Do you remember me? Intern Johnston. Yes. Dr. Sherman, have you ever heard of Backrooms level exclamation mark? No, intern Norioxo. Dr. Sherman has a fursona. No, intern Tambari. Only the ones that people have drawn for Fan Art Friday. This is my jam con as Tim JC. I see. Okay. Good to know. Thank you, Nulono, for the intel. That makes sense. It's also called Level Run for Your Life. That also means nothing to me. Dr. Sherman, have you gotten the chance to read the Scientology speedrun article? No. I want to. Haven't had time yet. Come on, there's an SCP about Scientology speedrunning. That sounds awesome. It's a lot more serious than I thought it would be. Interesting. I sure wonder what SCP-9999 will be. Intern malfunction plays. That is a curiosity that will be solved eventually once the 9999 contest appears. It's not super serious, but I was expecting a Dash J full Scientology bully article. That's kind of what I was expecting too. I've been keeping up on the Reckless Ben versus Bricks and Minifigs controversy, and all I can think about is the SCP-387s holding protest signs saying "Justice for Ben, Justice for Brian." So much drama, so crazy. Hey, Dr. Sherman, can we get some of Shermilton, the Shermusical today? With my voice as it is, I don't know that I will have the strength to sing anything like that, so I wouldn't even put a membership catch on that today. It's a little hoarse today. I've been reading some SCP articles. It seems like all the stuff that goes on in the Outpost movie series would be out of place. I'm not familiar with the Outpost movie series, but there are a lot of science fiction and horror movies where there's some sort of anomaly involved, and that would be Foundation's jurisdiction if we were there. I need your advice, Dr. Sherman, should my first post be a face reveal? Intern doll, the internet is a mean place. You gotta be careful revealing your personal details on the internet. This is not an ad for a VPN. What I'm saying is, the internet, you never know who's gonna find it and what they're gonna do with it. So you have to make sure to protect yourself and to steel yourself for what might be said in the future. Definitely as a youngin', I would not recommend it. Do you recognize me, Dr. Sherman? The only thing I haven't changed is my PFP. Well, it seems like, if I were to guess by that profile picture, isn't that Ella Sprite? Dr. Sherman, has anyone ever accidentally no-clipped into the back rooms at the SCP Foundation? I would not be shocked. 2.5 minutes left in stream, people, so get your last minute questions in, or I guess your last 2.5 minute questions in. Dr. Sherman, I've been trying to tell you for a week who told 387 about that. It was Dr. Arch, aka the only human at Site 387. Well, yes, that is what I would expect. The only person who really talks to 387 entities at all. That's not shocking to me. Is Fen 228 or the boiled one in SCP? Intern Lund. Is it anomalous? Yes. Is it on the SCP database? No. Therefore, it's not an SCP. Who is the oldest SCP, Dr. Sherman? Intern Johnston. The first SCP ever written was SCP-173. So if we count the Swan entity's interpretation of oldest, then SCP-173 is the oldest SCP. But if we're talking our pataphysical level, who knows? Hey, Dr. Sherman, opinion on the Black Comet from Shadow the Hedgehog. Isn't that the thing that was holding the alien entity that was going to destroy Earth or stuff? I don't like things that destroy Earth. That I'm not a fan of. Don't like it. Anomalous or not, I don't like things that are going to destroy Earth. You saw nothing. What if someone broke the roof of the Infinite IKEA? Intern Norioxo, there's multiple floors to IKEAs, remember? It's not just flat all the way, there's levels. He said the word. Levels. There's levels, lads. Everything's the back rooms, except for SCP-3008 was first. Thank you. Seriously, though, what happened to my emotes? Yeah, Dr. Frogman, I'm confused about that, too, because I still see you have a green name. You should probably look up the Google Help Desk and see what they say about member emotes and such. But for now, Site 42 staff, we are at the end of stream, and as I always do, I tell you guys my favorite SCPs. I'm not going to tell you the ones I wrote are my favorite, because that's cheating, but if you want to read my SCPs, you can go to the Sherm's author page in Site 42 Hub on the SCP database. There we can see the SCPs I wrote, or contributed voice lines or sound effects to. And if you want to go one tab over there, you'll find a list of links. Links that people ask about all the time in chat, but then they're not smart enough to find. It's very sad for them, but not for you. You'll find those links. And when you can do, you could become a Site 42 Patreon patron or YouTube channel member to donate to us monthly. You can do a Ko-Fi or YouTube Super Chat to donate to us for one at a time. Either way, we appreciate your generosity of direct donations. That's how I am able to do this as a part-time job instead of working my day job full-time. It also helps me to help out Desk, Agent Goose, and the surrounding SCP Foundation staff. Furthermore, if you can't donate, do not fret, because we are also able to get help from the broke gang, the starving artists out there. Trust me, as an arts community, we get that. And you can still donate your time and effort by being a member of Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codenamed the Signal Boosters. When you like, share, subscribe, comment, chat, make art, memes, jokes, shitposts, clips, edits of not just us at Site42, but also the SCP projects we support, like SCP Containment Breach the movie, now in Kickstarter, or the SCP Wiki and its authors and artists, or other SCP filmmakers, animators, game devs, merch makers, podcasters. You help us to get bigger and better SCP projects made, and we appreciate it. Now, without further ado, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on the last one, it's a bit of a rough read. Speed round. 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 531, 517, 532, Internet content warning last one, it's a rough read. So, Site-42 staff, there's been another Dr. Sherman's office hours, I guess. Meant to be a coffee break, but it wouldn't have been long. Hope you had fun. Hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, good work, Freddie Rules and Froy, for keeping us as a 5-star team for the outro. Good work. Now, as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream. When I was a lad in a fishing town, my old man said to me, "You can spend your life, your jolly life, just sailing on the sea. You can search the world for pretty girls till your eyes are weak and dim. But don't go searching for a mermaid, son, if you don't know how to swim. 'Cause her hair was green with seaweed, her skin was blue and pale. Her face, it was a work of art. I loved that girl with all my heart, but I only like the upper part. I did not like the tail." The credit song is The Mermaid. My version is by Great Big Sea, although some people are guessing Voltaire. I guess Voltaire did this too. But my version is by Great Big Sea. Remember not to fraternize with mermaids or any other anomaly staff. Now be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. See you in the next video or stream.